we're going to have a chat with my 12-year-old son just to see his views and thoughts on the exit for us from out of the EU. I know that his school had a mock EU referendum as well earlier this month, so just want to get some views. So, welcome, Kieran.
Hello.
So, what do you want to say to start?
Well, I'm kind of glad with the outcome of exit. So, what happened in the mock for my academy? I voted exit, and 55% voted remain, and 45% voted exit, just like me. So, most of my academy wanted to stay in. So I think it's probably a shame that we couldn't actually vote in the real referendum. I think it was a slight shame.
Okay, so leading up to your mock referendum in school, did you do any research into it? Did the teachers go through anything with you so you understood what you were actually voting for?
Yeah, every kind of geography /RE /history kind of lesson, we had a review of the referendum. I think it was a couple of weeks before, so it was a couple of weeks we had it. And yeah, it told us a lot of information. I think I had a good view on the whole EU referendum.
So what did you learn from that? What was the main issue to stay in Europe and the main issue to leave the EU?
Stay, from what I gathered, it's really uniting us as a nation, like the EU.
To stay, you mean?
Yeah,
right,
this is a stay point, although I was exit. And the reason I was exit is because lots of our NHS money goes to Spanish bullfighting and very extreme sports. So I think that's a shame of money wasted on the NHS to go towards that. I think it's very important that actually goes on, cancer research, anything to do with the NHS or anything to do with healthcare. Also, border control, because we don't really have any control over our borders. Brussels has control of all of our power. It has power over us. So I think really, if we leave the EU, which we already have, but it'll take about 2 years to process, I think it would be a very more better place, and we could get control of our borders back.
Right, do you think that was a consensus with a lot of people about the migration issue within your school?
I think a lot of people were heading more towards that, but I think it was about 20 or 25% said it's more about NHS, healthcare issues, money issues, because all of our money was going towards EU, which was, don't really know really, it was just spent on lots of different things.
Right, would you say that you all were given an understanding of what you were voting for then? Did you feel properly equipped to have your say?
Yeah, I felt like I had a lot of facts. I felt like I knew a lot of things about the lessons that I had.
And how do you feel about lowering the age of voting? Bear in mind it's 18 as a rule. Scotland lowered theirs for their referendum whether to leave the UK or not. Do you think our voting age should be lowered?
I think it should be lowered to at least, at the maximum 16/15, because I think by then, I already have a clear view of what's happening, and I know I was going to vote exit for the real one. So, yeah, I think it's important to lower the age limit.
How did you feel though when you found out that the Leave vote did win? How did you feel?
I was very surprised. I thought it was just going to be Remain, as seen as there were lots of Remain supporters around. I think in our area it was more of an out situation. Yeah. But everyone has different views. I think it basically is split. It's just like a split country. But I think really I think the most important is our money gets carried away somewhere else and we don't know what happens with it. I think it's important to take back control, get our money in order, get our borders in control,
Mhm.
and sort out our country, because I think it really needs to do something.
Does it not worry you though that we might become isolated from the EU? Bearing in mind, we went to Spain, didn't we, once, and we loved it there, didn't we? So how would you feel if it was harder maybe to go to Spain or anything like that?
I think yeah, that bit's a bit yeah. I can see where you're coming from, but really, I mean, we can still trade, because a lot of people say, oh, you can't trade if we leave the EU, like with the EU. But like Canada does, we can easily, because they need a lot of our things, and we need well, not a lot, but we need some of their things. We need to trade.
So when your school mock vote, the In campaign, won, what were the comments from the people who voted in? Obviously they would be pleased. Do you know the reason why they voted to stay?
Yeah, a lot of people were worried about, if we leave, we haven't got a clue what's going to happen. And I was like, I was in first for the first half of the week. The last half, I was like, out is probably going to be the best.
Right, okay.
Because lots of people were like, wait a second, we can't leave. It's too dangerous. Like, jobs will go, money will go. People were worried about the outcome. But I think it's going to be an okay outcome. Although it says, obviously, marketing is going very down, but I think it's going to slowly come back up. It's only been the first week.
It has, hasn't it? So anything else you'd like to say before we wrap this up? Or do you think you've said everything you needed to?
I think that's it, apart from the part where people keep on saying, I mean, the Prime Minister's resigned. I mean, that's a new part. I mean, we don't know who's going to take over.
Well, I think it's going to be Theresa May.
I
think
mean,
she's got the most backing, because that's been on the TV today while you were at school, of course. But yes, David Cameron, I think, had to resign because, rightly so, he wasn't the right person to take us through into Brexit, was he? So, because he was a very strong Remain supporter, so that would be interesting. So I think there's a lot of history in the making here, especially for you lot at school, isn't there?
yeah, I mean,
You're here while it's being made, so when you look back in years to come, you've got first-hand view of everything that's been happening.
yeah, I mean,
Dinosaurs.
people have been saying, Boris. I mean, Boris. I don't know if he's going to get in.
No, he's withdrew today.
Ah,
You say you've just come in from school, so you wouldn't have seen the news. He
well,
doesn't want to be the Prime Minister.
if he isn't going to be, then of course Theresa May could be, because she said, I'll go for it, as far as we know. So yeah, I think it's been a good past week. Although financial stuff going down and then going up and then going down, it's been it's like hills.
Right, well, I think we'll wrap this up then.
Yes.
So thank you everyone who is listening.
Bye.
Say bye for now.
Bye.